Right. Test, test, test. This is the test, test, test. Just checking this audio before we get started. We haven't had any issues, so it should be too well. Loud and clear, most fine Christ. Keep this up in the background just in case. Need to check it again. All right. All right, most high in Christ. Let's clap it up. Shalom, Israel. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are under Commandant General Yohana. We are not affiliated with any other Christian church, Hebrew Israelite groups, or Muslim mosques, or any other group that claims to be for the, embetterment of black people. You understand? Since 1969, the ISUPK has been alone in this fight, bringing out the truth of the Bible, that every so-called black, every so-called Native American, and every so-called Hispanic are the true children that the Bible speaks of. You understand? When the Bible talks about Jews, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are who the Bible is talking about. And the ISUPK has discovered this truth, and General Yohana is leading this nation back to serving the Most High the way that the Bible prescribes in order to fix and liberate its people. You understand? Like, that is the only way that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans can get out of the hellish conditions that we endure day in and day out. After everything else under the sun that we have tried to do to free ourselves, I mean, just think about what hasn't been tried, you know what I'm saying, in an effort to improve our condition. You understand? Like, what hasn't been attempted as a group, as a people, as a massive movement? What hasn't been tried? I think we've tried everything, like we've tried step number one, we've tried Christianity, man. You understand? Our people are neck deep into Christianity, and look at our condition, man. Our condition has not changed. It has not improved. You understand? One could argue our condition has gotten worse. You understand? We've gotten more lost. Like, it's a terrible condition. How do I say it? Like, damn, it's one thing, like, to be sick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing to have symptoms, because if you have symptoms of a sickness, what might you do?
Take some medicine.
Yeah, you might take some medicine. You might go seek, medical assistance. You might go see a doctor if you know you're sick. But what about those sicknesses that you don't necessarily know about? You understand? Like, for like our sisters, that breast cancer. Imagine if you don't go get those screenings. You understand? If you don't go, you don't feel anything, you don't feel any lumps or anything, you feel fine. And I'm supposed to go get a mammogram, but I feel fine, I'm not going to get it. Right? Or our brothers, we're supposed to go get that colonoscopy. You understand? Get that thing checked, man. Imagine putting that screening off, putting it off because you feel fine. And then one day you wake up to a very grim reality that things aren't fine, right? And then at that point, you don't got long. That's our people, man. Our people are sick. We are in a terrible condition. But for some reason, we don't see it. We don't realize it. We don't realize that our people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, are destroyed across this globe. We don't realize that. You know, some of us live comfortable, you know, what we perceive as comfortable lives. You understand? We have our, you know, little occupations, our so-called careers, right? So all is well. Racism don't exist. Slavery's in the past. I'm over it because I make a decent amount of money. But that's a selfish way to look at it, man. When you look at our people as a whole overall, when you look at the border, the southern border, and see the way that our, you know, Hispanic brothers and sisters are being treated, trying to come to a place that claims to be so, you know, you know, stand on bringing in immigrants and people who want a fair shake and people who just want freedom, you know, and people who just want opportunity. Look at how they treat our brothers when they try to come get this opportunity, compared to how they treat the Arab, compared to how they treat the African, compared to how they treat the European, compared to how they treat the Chinese when they come over here. You don't see them caged up in cages. You don't see them being, you know, wrangled and sent back to where they came from. They let them in without any hassle. But our brothers and sisters trying to come across that border to their own land. This belonged to them before the oppressor came over and called dibs on it. You understand? And murdered everyone who was here. Let's not even talk about the Native Americans. We definitely gonna get into that next month. But damn, how many Native American brothers and sisters have you seen recently? You know they populated this country. They populated this continent. And now you barely find any anywhere. But there's still reservations. I pray you understand that. There's reservations. And on those reservations, alcoholism is killing our brothers and sisters every day. We got little sisters disappearing off of these reservations, and no one knows why. You understand? We live in hell as a people, man. Our people live in hell, and we are destroyed in this land. But some of us don't realize it, man. And again, we've tried everything under the sun to so-called free ourselves and to improve our condition, and nothing has worked. You understand? But the one thing we haven't tried is to serve the Most High, which is what the Most High prescribes. You understand? The Bible says that when a man's ways please the Lord, he'll make even his enemies be at peace with him. We got hella enemies as a people, man. Every other nation is set up to devour us. You understand? To feed off of our economy and to destroy our spirit and our essence. You understand? There's some type of law that had this. I'm not sure which state it is or if it's a federal law about brothers and sisters being able to naturally rock black hair like an afro. You understand? Like, I know in the military, it was a thing where you can't rock that fro. We're going to cut that thing off. That thing is out of here. You get that? So again, like these other nations are set up to destroy the very essence of who we are. They'll let us be, and it's almost like you'll get no resistance to doing anything in the world. You can worship whatever you want, serve whoever you want, be whatever you want, except waking up to the reality that this Bible's talking about you. When it talks about Israel, it's talking about you. Oh, you're gonna get some resistance to this place once you wake up to that. You're gonna find some real friction when you find out who you are and you decide to be who the Most High calls you to be. You're gonna see, you're gonna get something that's really foreign to you. You're gonna get some what they call it, backlash. You understand? But that's no reason to not do this. You understand? The Most High called Israel to be his children, a peculiar, special, holy people unto himself. And that's what we got to be. We can't keep adopting the philosophies and the customs of these other nations and think that it's going to benefit us as a people. You understand? And we got one that's coming up real soon. They call it Halloween. Now, raise your hand if you ever had celebrated Halloween in your life. You understand? Raise your hand if you know what Halloween is, like the origins of it, the history of it. There are no hands up in this room. I know I could have raised mine, but yeah, that's our people, man. Let me get a couple of scriptures, then I'll get into the origins of this thing, and then we'll get back into the scriptures and kind of help wake some of our people up. You understand? One holiday at a time, one custom at a time. You understand? All right, let me get Hosea 4:6, man. Hosea 4:6. We tried everything under the sun except serving the Most High. I mean, that's my own admission. I had been into everything before I found the truth. You understand? And it wasn't until I found the truth that everything just made sense. Yeah, like I understood why I couldn't get right. I understood why I was jumping from this and jumping to that. It all made sense. I understood how lost I was. Someone got that? Let me get that read nice and loud.
Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, man. There is no debate about whether or not our people are destroyed, but there is debate about why we're destroyed. You hear our oppressor tell it, hell, we're destroyed because we don't pull ourselves up by our bootstraps like he did. You understand? Like we don't just go, rape, rob, and pillage someone else on their own land and make treaties with them and break them, you understand? And chain them up and torture them and abuse them generation after generation and terrorize them so that now you're on top and you thrive at their expense. Yeah, why don't we just do that? That's pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. Read that one more time.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, man. We're about to celebrate Halloween, and we don't even know what it, like, really what it is. We know what we do, but we don't know why we do it. We know what to do. We know how to celebrate Halloween, but do we know why we celebrate Halloween? Do we know where it came from, what its roots are, what its origins are? Do we know if it is a good thing or a bad thing? Do we know if it's healthy or if it's poisonous? You understand? Like, we don't know, but we gobble it up. We put it on. We probably some of the most hardcore Halloween, participants under the sun. You understand? At this point, and don't know why. We are destroyed for lack of knowledge, man. And here's another thing. Sometimes we don't even want to know. You know how easy it is to just, hey Siri, what are the origins of Halloween? Like, where does Halloween come? Like, you know how easy it is to, I don't want to say it because my phone to do it, but to ask Google, where does Halloween come from? It's not like we can't get that information. Again, we don't lack information. We lack knowledge. We lack the wisdom to know that maybe we should be cognizant of what it is we do. Maybe what we do matters. You understand? Maybe it makes a difference, especially when you learn that the Most High he really cares about what you do. He cares about how you conduct yourselves. He cares about what we worship. He cares about what, the things we sacrifice for other things. Oh, he cares. But we don't have the wisdom to understand that we should respect what he cares about. You understand? And we should definitely not tamper with things that he is not, that he would not approve of. We don't have that knowledge. You understand? And we can thank our Christian church for that. We could definitely thank our pastors. We could thank our politicians, everybody that's been so-called, the leaders of the Black community for the past 400 years. We could thank them for this confusion, for this lack of knowledge. You understand? And this lack of leadership. Let me get Proverbs 3:31. Proverbs 3:31. And then I'm gonna get someone else to get Proverbs 23:17. One, you got 3:31. Young man, if you can get 23:17, that'll be too well. You got it? All right, let's hear it.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor.
Again.
Envy thou not the oppressor.
Again.
Envy thou not the oppressor.
Envy thou not the oppressor, man. We're not supposed to envy our oppressor. We're not supposed to want what he wants. We're not supposed to want what he has. Like, we're not supposed to like what he does. We're not supposed to be jealous of him. And what he, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not supposed to. That's not. It's not becoming. First off, it damn for sure ain't masculine. That's kind of homosexual. I hate to say it. You understand? Like, that man got a rib, and you want the rib that he's dealing with. You want to share? You want to share her? You want to touch what he's touching with his? Like, we're not supposed to envy our oppressor, man. You get that? Let me get Proverbs 3:23-17, young man.
Proverbs chapter 23, verse 17. Let not thine heart envy sinners.
Again.
Let not thine heart envy sinners.
One more time.
Let not thine heart envy sinners.
Don't let your heart envy sinners, man. When we find out tonight that Halloween is just another vain heathen custom that is a sin against the Most High, don't envy the people that run out and choose to celebrate Halloween, man. When they go out and do what Halloween celebrators do and what our oppressor does, don't envy it. Don't be like, man, I wish I could go. Man, I wish I was there. You understand? We're going to get into it. Well, maybe we'll help you, shed that envy. You understand? When you really get to the root of it, maybe we'll be repulsed by it like the Most High is. Maybe we'll share his spirit. You understand? And be on the same page with him about why it's such a idiotic thing to participate in. You understand? Yeah. One more time, brother.
Let not thine heart envy sinners.
Go ahead.
But be thou in fear of the Lord all the day long.
Again.
Let not thine heart envy sinners, but be thou in fear of the Lord all the day long.
Man, be in fear of the Lord. What does it mean to be in fear of the Lord? How do you fear the Lord? Young man?
Carrying out his laws.
You follow his law, statutes, and commandments. Give brother a hand, man. You serve the Most High. You follow his law, statutes, and commandments. That's what's going to dictate whether you fear him or not. The Christian church does not fear God. They can't fear God. Not the God of the Bible. You understand? The God that they teach about, that's all merciful and all forgiving and all loving and, kumbaya, and everybody hold hands and, yeah, pastor molest the kids, but no sweat. We're going to forgive them for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's that doctrine. Yeah, what's to be afraid of? But the God of this Bible, he kills people. He kills sinners. He destroys nations that touch his children. You understand? The Bible says God is a man of war. That is not the Christian church's God. I pray y'all understand that. Let's get into the history of this Halloween stuff real fast. Well, y'all pull up the link I sent you for the article about the history of Halloween. I'm gonna pull it up too over here. let's just go to the you see under where it says ancient origins of Halloween.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Mhm.
Halloween's origins.
Mhm.
Go ahead and let me get one of you brothers to read that. Aliyah.
Halloween's origins date back to the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain.
Samhain. It's spelled Samhain, but it says it's pronounced Samhain. Okay, so Samhain. It's an ancient Celtic festival. Anybody know who the Celtics are?
Mhm.
It's like Irish people.
Mm.
The Irish, the Boston Celtics. You ever seen their mascot? It's like the little leprechaun dude. You know what I mean? The fighting Irish. You know, Notre Dame, the Clover, all of that green garbage. You understand? I pray y'all know that those aren't Israelites. That is a heathen people. You get that? Go ahead. Keep reading. The Celts.
Who lived 2,000 years ago, mostly in the area that is now Ireland, the United Kingdom, and northern France, celebrated their New Year on November 1st.
So they celebrated their New Year on November 1st. Okay. So you got October 31st, and then the next day is the New Year. Okay. Everybody understand? So that's their New Year. So it's kind of like their New Year celebration. Everybody understand that? All right. Keep reading.
This day marked the end of summer and the harvest and the beginning of the dark, cold winter, a time of year that was often associated with human death.
Okay. So what they were saying is like, okay, so we're going to start a new year here because, it gets cold and everything's dying and it's dark and, like this is the end of a year. You understand? Go ahead.
Celts believe that on the night before the New Year,
When?
On the night before the New Year.
On the night before the New Year. Okay. Again, these are the Celtics. Listen, these are the Celts. The night before the New Year, which they're calling November 1st. So the night before would be October 31st. Read.
The boundary between the worlds of the living and the dead became blurred.
Again.
The boundary between the worlds of the living and the dead became blurred.
So the boundaries between the worlds of the living and the dead. So you got people that are alive, people that are dead. And on the night before New Year's, these boundaries are blurred. You understand? Like the people who have died and passed on can come back like zombies, I guess, or ghosts or spirits. And people can see them and communicate with them. And, there can be some interaction on the 31st. Keep reading.
On the night of October 31st, they celebrated Samhain, when it was believed that the ghosts of the dead returned to earth.
So they believe that, ghosts come back, man, and do things to the earth. Of people who have died and moved on, they think that they got the type time in the afterlife to just come back and pick with folks. This is not biblical. You do understand that. Okay. Keep reading.
In addition to causing trouble and damaging crops, thought that the presence of the otherworldly spirits made it easier for the Druids or Celtic priests to make predictions about the future.
So they got Druids, right, which are like their priest or their pastors called Druids. So because this kind of the lines are blurred between dead and living on this night, we can maybe use this blurred opportunity to see into the future and to make predictions about what's going to happen. You understand? It's like another silly custom. You've heard of Groundhog's Day? So Groundhog's Day, again, this is silly. I hope y'all have gathered that from just as much as we talked about just so far. It's silly nonsense. It's vain. Does anybody know what vain is? Vain means? Vain.
Like nothing.
Yeah, it means nothing. It's just, it's useless. You understand? This is nothing. This is childish nonsense. So these druids would try to seize the opportunity, man. We can talk to the ghosts and we can see the future tonight with that Groundhog's Day. There's and I don't even know what month was it, February or March or something like that. Some white man goes, digs his hand into a cage, pulls out a groundhog named Mr.
Oh, yeah.
Punxsutawney Phil. Punxsutawney Phil. They pull him out, and somehow he puts the damn thing up to his ear, and it tells him whether or not it saw his shadow. You understand? So the groundhog says, I saw my shadow, or I didn't see my shadow. Apparently, if he sees his shadow, then there's going to be a long winter. I could be wrong on that, flipped on it. If he doesn't see his shadow, it's going to be a short winter. Spring's coming early. This is childish nonsense. You understand? Animals don't talk to you like that and tell you the future. You understand? Nor do any ghosts come from, on October 31st and tell you the future. Everybody understand that? So now you understand why on this day, they would do, that they got together and did things. Skip down to commemorate the event. Aliyah, you got it?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
To commemorate the event, Druids built huge sacred bonfires.
They did what?
They built huge sacred bonfires.
They built huge sacred bonfires. On October 31st, they built a huge bonfire. Listen closely. Go ahead.
Where the people gathered to burn crops and animals as sacrifices to the Celtic deities. Read that again. Where the people gathered to burn crops and animals as sacrifices to the Celtic deities. So they would, because these spirits and the blurred lines and the portals of hell open and all of this nonsense, they build these big bonfires. Halloween, parties usually consist of a bonfire, right? That's a common thing. So they build these bonfires. They come and they put they're putting crops in there, some of their harvest. They're throwing that into the fire. They're taking animals. They're throwing animals into the fire as sacrifices to their deities, to their gods. We know there ain't no gods, but to them, there's gods. You understand? And they're sacrificing to their gods, man. They're sacrificing to their gods. I call it a waste of resources because that is not. Anyway. They're just burning stuff. They're just throwing stuff in the fire, burning it up, thinking that it's doing something. It's vain. It's childish. You understand? Keep reading. Right. During the celebration, the Celts wore costumes.
They wore what?
Costumes.
They wore what?
Costumes.
Okay.
Typically consisting of animal heads and skin. And attempted to tell each other's fortune.
Okay, so they right. This is the start of it. This is why our parents. This is why on October 31st you're gonna see what you're gonna see. This is the origins of it. This is the root of it. You understand? This is it. This is where it comes from. This is where it stems from. Here's the bonfire. This is why they do the bonfire. Here's the costumes. This is why they do the costumes. You understand? And again, trying to tell each other's fortunes. Good grief. Miss Cleo. The psychics. Okay. Read that next paragraph real quick.
When the celebration was over, they relit their hearth fires, which they had extinguished earlier that evening, from the sacred bonfire to help protect them during the coming winter. Okay, so and yet I guess in your house you would have like a heater. You know what I'm saying? Not a heater, but like a fireplace or whatnot. So we keep fire, keep place warm, right? So before they would go to the bonfire, they would put out the fire that's in their house, go to the bonfire, make their sacrifices, and then take a torch of sorts, some way, take the fire that was at the bonfire,
back to the house and light their fire with that sacrifice special bonfire fire. And then that was intended to protect them through the winter. And our people follow this. Our people practice this, believe it or not. Our people practice this. Let's get down to I'm gonna skip down to the history of trick-or-treating. Now, I want y'all to remember, I'm gonna come back to, I want y'all to remember that bonfire for the sacrifices, okay? Remember that bonfire for the sacrifices, all right? We're gonna come back to that right after this. All right, got the history of trick-or-treating?
No.
Aliyah?
It's an add up and I can't get rid of it.
No sweat. I'm a wine, you got the history of trick-or-treating? Let's hear it.
Borrowing from European traditions.
Borrowing from who?
European traditions.
Who?
Europeans.
The oppressor.
Europeans.
You understand? The oppressor, borrowing from their traditions. Go ahead.
Americans began to dress up in costumes and go house to house asking for food or money.
Doing what?
Go house to house asking for food or money.
Yeah. Following after who?
Europeans.
I mean, like you are, like, all right. Don't take this the wrong way, but you almost don't even need the Bible to read this and almost be like, yeah, I'm good on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, I'm out. You know what I mean? Is this not what we do? Following after our oppressor? Is this not what your father did to you? Dressed you up in costumes, marched you from house to house, knocking on the door, begging for candy. I mean, look. Look, it's a lot. And then, like this always threw me too, right? Your parents will buy buckets of candy for all the other kids in the community to come get it and send you out to go beg. But like, our people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, man. You understand that? I mean, I hope this is visual enough for you. That's why I love when the holidays come around, man, because if it don't paint a clear picture of following after heathen customs and how destroyed we are, you know what I mean, to be doing it, let alone, we're going to get into it, being destroyed as a result of it. It's not so funny then when you see, you understand, the rise in, drunk driving, car accidents and deaths because people got to turn up because it's Halloween. And they got to carry their little lustful behinds to the party and get, tore up, you understand, get drunk, do all kinds of drugs, have all kinds of illicit intercourse, you understand? Which, yeah, I mean, you can only guess how many abortions will take place, you understand, in November. You know, when you start waking up and that stomach ain't feeling right and something ain't right and you pee on that stick and it's positive and you don't know which of them brothers is the dad and you got to go to college, you understand, or you're not ready for this, and you don't want to have this baby, so you're gonna go have an abortion, or you're gonna have that child. You're gonna put that brother on one of them brothers on child support, whoever's the unlucky one, you understand, to get blamed, or take the test. That's his. He wasn't trying to have a family and a baby with you. He was at a Halloween party, off the lean, you understand, on that Molly, just enjoying himself. It's Halloween. This, like, I'm just trying to turn up. And now you have a child in the middle of this. You have a child that's going to be raised as a, in such a unconstructive partnership. And that child's going to suffer because it's not a joke then. You understand? And I mean, the rate, like all crimes spike during Halloween. And it all makes sense. Again, you got the parties, you got the time, like the time of, I was reading that there's a time of day, like when crime spike, it's like 10 o'clock. And that's the time that's because everybody's still out trick-or-treating and partying on Halloween. Like it's still live and well. Like it's crowded places, Rapes go through the roof because now you got brothers walking around with masks on that can just run up on like looking like a Michael Myers mask. He done come grabbed you, drug you into the bushes, had his way with you. Because again, it opens the door for that type of sadistic behavior. Like the conditions are just right. You understand? For sin and folly. You understand? Let's keep reading that, man. Asking for food and money. Go ahead.
A practice that eventually became today's trick-or-treating tradition.
Man, listen, that's trick-or-treating, man. You literally, you sending your kids out to trick-or-treat, you're literally sending them out to beg for candy. Where's the pride in that, man? Where's the honor in that? Like, General Mahyman, I heard him teach about this many years ago, man, and I certainly cut that nonsense out of, my family's practices, you understand? He said, you raise your kids and you teach them not to talk to strangers. Don't take no candy from strangers. Anyone else was taught that as a child, to talk their kids that? You understand? Why? Why would a parent tell their child not to talk to strangers? Aliyah? Because it's not safe. But give me something specific. Why wouldn't it be safe for a child to just go approach and talk to a stranger? Or take candy from a stranger?
You don't know their intentions.
You don't know their intentions, man. You don't know their intentions. What might they do? What could they do? What could that stranger do to that little child that walk up to him all innocent, like cheesing, smiling, just as happy and clueless and dumb as all? What could happen? They could kidnap him.
Back in the day, they used to put razor blades in their candy.
Man, listen. I'm glad you brought that up. They could put things in that so-called candy that's not candy, man. Young sis.
Take advantage.
They could take advantage, man. They could cop a feel. Huh? They could grope that child. Oh, here's this candy. Let me put it in your basket that you're holding right here at your chest. Oh, I didn't mean that. And I rubbed all down your daughter's chest. No, I'm sorry. I dropped the candy. Let me get that. Come up all up under the, whatever. Come on, man. When we send our children out there, we invite those opportunities. You get that? And as a parent, isn't our role and responsibility to protect that child? And because it's Halloween, we turn around and we do the exact opposite of that. That leads me to let me get Leviticus 18 and 21. Leviticus chapter 18, verse 21. Young man, I think you can grab that one from me, since they got the articles.
Leviticus chapter 18, verse 21. And thou shalt not let any of thy seeds pass through the fire of Molech.
Read that again.
And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire of Molech.
One more time.
And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech.
All right. And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech. Anybody know who or what Molech is or was? All right. Molech was a god that our oppressors served. You understand? And Molech was, people would sacrifice their children to Molech. Molech was like a big bull, you understand, like a bull statue type thing that had like a fire in its belly. They would build a fire in it, and people would bring their most prized possessions and even their children to this thing, sacrifice them, throw them in there to worship this thing, man. Read that again from the top.
And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire of Molech.
This is telling us that we are not to go serve our kids to some other strange deity that other people are worshiping. We're not supposed to sacrifice our children to a god that they're worshiping and sacrificing their children to. But on Halloween, isn't that exactly what we do? Huh? You think the parents are looking at that registered sex offender book before they go take their kids to the neighborhood and send them through there? Don't we sacrifice, right? Don't we serve them right up on the platter? And look, it's been a while. I don't even go out on October 3rd on those evenings, man. But I can imagine the way that parents allow their daughters to dress now, and the way that women take this Halloween costume opportunity to dress, you know, further like whores. You understand? The nurses' outfits and what is it? Harley Dean, is that her name? Harley Quinn. You understand? Like this crazy, like all of the disgusting. I can only imagine how our little sisters are going out now. You understand? And again, we just serve our kids right up, man, on Halloween because it's Halloween. And do we even consider it? We don't even think about it. We just do it. Just this is what our oppressors doing. We don't want our child to not have candy, so I'll sacrifice them. Mm-hmm. My neighbor's kid's gonna go get buckets of candy. So you're gonna envy a sinner? Thought we supposed to let not our hearts envy the sinner. Huh? I thought we supposed to serve the Most High. Maybe if we serve the Most High, our kids won't be subject to this type of terror and trauma. You understand? Maybe we'll be safe. Maybe we stay home. We don't get hit by that drunk driver that will be out there. You know? Maybe our sisters won't get raped. Our brothers, heck, man, they might be trying to rape our brothers too, man. This is Sodom and Gomorrah. You understand? This is America is spiritually Sodom. In Sodom and Gomorrah, the brothers in that town tried to rape 2 angels, man. You understand? They tried to rape some male angels. They thought it was some regular men, but they were angels sent by the Most High to warn Lot. Man, them people in that town, they surrounded Lot's house and they wanted a piece of them angels. They say, yo, send them out or we coming in there. You understand? Like, so it ain't far-fetched to think that there's some brothers out here could get grabbed up. We not supposed to partake of this stuff, man. You understand? That actually, let's there's another one too, man. I wanted to get into the jack-o'-lantern. Y'all care about the jack-o'-lantern? They still carving pumpkins and stuff. Y'all familiar with that practice?
Young lady was carving one the other day with her baby. Like how you were saying that it's pushed on tours, you have no choice. He had a baby carving jack-o'-lantern.
I'm gonna just say that Proverbs 22:6 says, "Train up a child in the way that they should go." Man, you gotta train up a child, man, and that's what we do. We train our children up to be devout Halloween participants. You understand? just real quick, I'll give you the history of the jack-o'-lantern instead of reading it. The jack-o'-lantern, it's a dumb story about some dude named Stingy Jack. It's Irish. It's an Irish story. It's an Irish story.
Irish.
Yeah, Irish. Shocker. Oppressor. Silly. Vain. Ridiculous. So Irish Jack is a cat that somehow he had sat down to have drinks with the devil or something like that, and he tricked the devil into turning into a coin to pay for the drinks. And I guess once he paid for the drinks, the devil was supposed to take his soul or something weird like that. But instead of paying for the drinks, Jack just kept the joint in his pocket. You understand? So the devil couldn't change back because he had like a cross in his pocket. So then some weird, I don't know how the devil got back to wherever he was, but I think it was like a little while later, the devil came back and he tricked the devil into going up into like an apple tree or something like that. And then he hurry up and carved a cross on the tree so the devil couldn't come down and take his soul. And he made the devil promise that, you know, he won't try to take his soul for the next 10 years or something like that. And he was like, cool. So then he ended up dying a short while after that, before the 10 years. So he couldn't go to heaven because, I don't know, God obviously ain't want no heathen in heaven. But the devil couldn't take his soul, so he was just left wandering the earth. You understand? So he's wandering the earth. He took a gourd. Was it a gourd? They took a turnip, like a potato, hollowed it out and put a coal in there. That's how he walked around to kind of see where he was going. So then the people in the village and whatnot, in order to protect themselves from Stingy Jack or Jack with the lantern, they would take those turnips or whatever, the potatoes, and carve them out into a scary face or whatever, put a light in it, and that would ward him off. And then here in America, we got pumpkins. Now, I don't know if you know this or not. Pumpkins are kind of I like the way pumpkin tastes. I'm sorry. I like pumpkin pie. I like pumpkin spice coffee. I like the pumpkin donuts from Dunkin' Donuts. I rock with it. The pumpkin is delicious if you know what you're doing with it. Squash. I like squash. Like squash is almost like a type of pumpkin. You understand? And our oppressor, and all of his childish simplicity, he ruins. I don't even want to put a number. You just think about how many pumpkins get carved. You understand? How many pumpkins get carved just to put a light in it, just to put it on the step, just for it to waste away. The waste. As if, you know, there aren't people starving. You understand? Our oppressor is a silly child, man. And we follow behind them, man. We follow right behind them. Carving jack-o'-lanterns. It's been a while since y'all carved a jack-o'-lantern, huh? Well, y'all carved a pumpkin. You don't even remember, do you? Most High in Christ, give that a hand. Give that a hand. Brother looking like, we carved a pumpkin? Yeah, we all. Your father was in error. You understand? But thank God for the truth, man. You will never, ever carve another pumpkin. You won't see me carve one, and your children will never carve a pumpkin. You understand? You'll train up your children the way that they should go, and when they are grown, they won't depart from it either. They'll keep the traditions of the Most High. They won't follow along behind vain heathen customs. They're going to celebrate the Passover. You understand? They're going to celebrate the Day of Atonement. They're going to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles. You understand? The Feast of Hanukkah, the Feast of Dedications. You understand? They're going to keep the Most High's high holy days, and we party. We turn up. You know what I'm saying? We won't get out of control, but we have a great time. We have a great community experience. You understand? When we come together in the name of the Most High. You understand? And it doesn't lead to, you know, the drunk drive and the the children. I don't even call it the Christian term, children born out of wedlock, but you know, sisters becoming unexpected parents. You know what I mean? With a brother that they had no intention of being committed to. You understand? We at our high holy days, man, we don't. That's not a byproduct of it. When it is the byproduct of every, heathen custom. That's what it's all about. Get drunk, have orgies, and shalom. You know. Let me get Revelations. Let me get two verses. So let me get 1 Corinthians 13 and 11. And then whoever went to Grand Slam, grab Revelations 18 and 4. Salaki, the Grand Slam. Let me get that 1 Corinthians first, though. Everybody want the Grand Slam. Everybody want Revelation. Yeah, someone got it.
Yeah, coming to the other one.
This 1 Corinthians 13 and 11.
Oh,
So someone that's a hardcore. All these scriptures is Grand Slam. Salakia for me for saying that. That's just Revelation gonna be my last scripture. But all of these are heavy, man. This one's heavy. 1 Corinthians. I'm one. Let's go.
First
13 and 11.
1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11. When I was a child.
When what?
I was a child.
When I was a man.
A child.
A woman.
A child.
Grown.
A child.
Old.
Child.
Read.
A child.
Continue.
I spake as a child.
You did what?
I spake as a child.
Trick or treat. Go ahead.
I understood as a child.
You understood as a child, man. Like, you didn't know. Thought you were just getting candy. Go ahead.
I thought as a child.
You thought as a child. Go ahead.
But when I became a man.
When you became what?
A man.
A what?
A man.
That's an adult, man. When you grow up, when you realize that you're not a child anymore, man. Go ahead.
I put away childish things.
You did what?
Put away childish things.
Celebrated Halloween.
Put away childish things.
Celebrate Christmas.
Put away childish things.
Come on, man. We put away childish things, man, when you grow up, man. Go ahead.
Verse 12.
No, that's actually it on that.
Oh.
The water for that. Now let me get Revelation 18 and 4. That's a heavy scripture, man. That's like I said, if you really get down to the root of it, man, we got a lot of parents that are children raising children, man. You got children raising children to be children. It's about raising adults, man. Like imagine being grown and you get a wisdom tooth pulled and go home and put it under your pillow and wake up the next morning mad because the tooth's still there. Revelation 18 and 4, please. Go ahead.
Revelations chapter 18, verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven.
Go ahead.
Saying,
what did it say?
Come out of her.
Do what?
Come out of her.
Celebrate all of their holidays.
Come out of her.
Do everything that they do.
Come out of her.
Come on, man. It's just Halloween.
Come out of her.
Sowing. Was it sowing?
So, come out of her.
Yeah. Trick or treat.
Come out of her.
Come on, just a bonfire.
Come out of her.
Go ahead.
My people.
Come out of her, my people. Come out of her, man. Like, do you think this means get on a bus or a plane or a train and leave? Do you think that's what it's talking about? That's not what this is talking about, man. When it says come out of her, that means, you know what? Forgo that party, man. Forgo that trunk. Oh, Lord. The Christian church is going to celebrate Halloween. Instead of trick or treat, they do this thing called trunk or treat. The kids come there in costumes. The people with the cars, they decorate their cars with cobwebs and all of the same nonsense. They walk around, get the candy, And you know it's more pedophiles than a few in the Christian church. I hope y'all understand that. If you don't watch the news, you should. It's full of them. And sidebar, if you were a pedophile, wouldn't this be like your like, I imagine, you know, pedophiles probably got like a chat group going on or something like that. And they, I imagine probably around July, they'd be like, yo, 3 months away, yo, we only got 3 more months. It's gonna be on and popping, like. That's the Christian church, though, man. And again, why wouldn't a pedophile run to a place where they are safe? A pedophile is safe in church. They're cozy in there. A pedophile is not allowed in the ISUPK. A pedophile will not be comfortable in here. I pray you understand that. Again?
Come out of her.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, come out.
Come out of her, my people,
Come out of her, my people. Go ahead.
that ye be not partakers of her sin.
That what?
That ye be not partakers of her sin.
That ye be not partakers of her sins, man. She gonna sin. She gonna do everything she can opposite the Most High's will and pleasure. She gonna do everything against, everything anti the Most High's expectations. Come out of her so that you don't partake of her, so that you don't do what she does and sin against me, man. Because what she's gonna be doing is gonna be sinning against me. Read that one more time.
Come out of her.
Sure.
Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sin,
Go ahead.
and that ye receive not of her plague,
Again.
and that ye receive not of her plague,
Drunk driving,
her plague,
child molestation,
her plague,
diabetes. We need more candy.
plague,
You understand? Unexpected pregnancy,
her plague,
orgies.
her plague,
You're gonna get an STD. I promise you that.
her
You're
plague,
going to get an STD.
her plague,
You're going to jail. You're drunk. You're going to jail too.
her plague,
You're gonna hit somebody. It's gonna be manslaughter. You're gonna stay in there a good long time.
her plague,
You understand? And your children will learn to be beggars.
her plague,
They're going to learn to dress up and go ask somebody for something.
her plague,
You understand? They're going to learn to talk to strangers.
her plague,
They're going to take things from strangers,
her plague,
things that they think taste good.
her plague,
Your child's going to be missing.
her plague.
I pray y'all understand, man. Halloween's just another vain heathen custom that our people are we further destroy ourselves following after. You understand? And I hope that's been clear tonight. All right. I want to say that's it for the class. Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shabbarakathum to the Akim. Yahweh Shamar Alathun Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai to all the Akwathium. And I want to say Shalom, Israel.